I definitely love this SF last pick. When I talk about all the things that make Lina so good against the heroes on Ivy, SF has the exact same kit. He's just a long range, like damage dealing hero who's gonna be able to buy stuff like a Scotty and just like keep his range and kill. And when I'm thinking, okay, well Ivy can play around that in this way, catch Lina in this way, and maybe that's how they can win their fight. Well, now you have two of these big win conditions that you have to deal with.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is very similar kind of hero archetype to Lina. Mixed damage between physical and magical. He's a long-range artillery cannon. Well, maybe next time. He was thinking about the hook there. Caught a glimpse of a DP in the Alk for a second. I'm just looking at these lanes and making sure that they are going to be set up as we expect. It looks like yeah, Lina's mid. SF has that stick, so he's going to be down in that safe lane. So what's it good? Is it going to be SF Pudge or SF Marcy? Like both of these heroes have displacement tools. Both of them are really good with razors, right?
I would prefer having the Marcy in the lane. Just you're playing off lane Wyvern. You want to match that with I would just want something. I would feel like the kill threat is less in lane with the Wyvern core. So I would want just someone who can kind of be a body for me and help trade with the support and keep them off my back. So I would prefer Pudge for that. Whereas this Marcy could set up a lot of kills for you. For SF with these razors, yeah.
And I guess also against the Clockwork, you've got Dispose against Cogs, which works out pretty nicely. Let's see how Marcy down in that bottom lane as the 5 with Pleb SF. Mid lane DP versus Lina. We've seen lots of mid lane matchups where both of these heroes have dominated. Both of them very good with the new Spirit Siphon. You like to go on about with the flat damage being so very powerful nowadays. And Lina, not really having changed, just continues to launch spells at people. Which way does this go? Like DP against Lina in particular?
We watched it in one of the games, and it seemed like Lina crushed the lane. Obviously, this is a matchup where I'm sure it depends a lot on skill of players. But Lina, the last time we saw it, Lina dominated the DP, and then the DP got a bunch of support rotations, and then they were able to kill the Lina just with the power of this Siphon, like you said. Very, very good.
Like I said, you said.
You said, and I said, we both said, it's broken spell.
Yeah. I'm pretty busted.
Yeah, you just get... like, Inch swings on mid with a creep, Clock comes in, gets her in Cogs. Like, that's a dead Lina. For sure. And we've seen how greedy these guys like to be. I think maybe going for their boost of travel or what have you. Or they're not tanking up. They're not buying stats.
They're greeding out.
Yeah, you'll see some Lina like 15 minutes with maybe 1,500 health or something, and it's so easy to kill.
Man, MNT is hunting. They brought the Ench down pretty low, nearly had the kill. Trading couriers. MNT, he is level 2, and he lines it up for the hook on the Ench. Really nicely done for first blood. Well, there's your kill threat. It's MNT on his Pudge with the hook.
So I like to see. Okay, well I didn't expect this, but
poor little Bambi being dragged around the lane.
If they can win their lanes, it's massive for them. Just because I think Ivy have kill lanes or strong lanes, and they intend on winning lanes. So DP, just a solid laner. Ench, meant to massacre lanes. You have a Timbersaw and a Clockwork bot who definitely want to be getting kills, or at least threatening and pressuring. And if these lanes don't work out, we might just see a lot of rotations around the map. Like, hey, okay, this isn't working out for us. Let's mix things up. Maybe we'll bring Clock to top and try and get a kill there. Maybe we'll go to the mid and just collapse hard on the runes and try and pressure Lina.
Right, and this SF pick last, like he's getting run out a little bit down bottom, and Coop with some nice little body blocks. Lab's gonna get forced out there. But they do dispose the max timber under tower. And this is what I wanted to ask you about this SF last pick against the Timbersaw. It feels like a counter in lane with razors against reactive armor.
It does, for sure. The raise damage has been insane, and you can't even buy something like a range up to really deal with it. God, top is just fighting so hard.
Yeah, low skill chucks the concoction at own me, and they will get some revenge up top. Maybe next time, losing a lot of his own HP with that Roshan. Gonna have to try and run away while Cube does die to Pleb, and they get the double kill on the Alk up top. It looks like bottom lane, Lodine still trying to rebound, but doesn't quite have the range to get on top of the Timbersaw.
Yeah, top is hard because Winter Wyvern is a very weak hero. I think it's one of the biggest reasons, like, why I struggle to play her as a core. We've seen her a lot mid, because I feel like that is where she probably thrives the most, getting the levels and being able to have points in the Splinter Blast and then just shoving the wave out and kind of playing in that way. But when you play on a side lane, she's weak. She has a weak damage. You know, losing is quite difficult for her. The like her stats are just not that great. Like trading wise, if you're getting hit by 2 heroes, it is, you know, struggle city.
Yeah.
And these guys are playing into an acid spray, and they're both just dying
With an edge.
Yeah, with an edge. Yeah,
that's nasty stuff. Yeah, it feels like side lane heroes nowadays need some kind of recovery mechanism, and I just don't feel like Wyvern has that either. From the mid lane, you're always going to be getting your golden XP. From the side lanes, if you get shut down, you are shut down completely.
I guess the one thing that pros always tend to do is when lanes become hard and the lanes break up, we move towards 10-minute mark, they start to shuffle. So like Wyvern could get put mid, and she'll just sit there happily and push out waves, and you know, you might see the carry go and farm that mid lane too. Everyone just kind of does a little shuffle and moves to whatever lane they feel like they need. If we're going to bring heroes top and pressure the tower there, then yeah, maybe Wyvern takes mid and Lena's top with someone else and they just take that tower.
Maybe next time, I'm gonna be hooking some creeps. And he's trying to smoke in towards mid. And Lodine missing another rebound. I think that's 3 in a row that Marcy's not landed his rebound onto the Timbersaw. And I'm not sure if Max is just sidestepping and outplaying, or if Lodine not quite up to par and his Marcy skills.
100% an outplay. He's just better.
Yeah, skilled gamer.
Yep. He's gaming. These things have relaxed now for a little bit.
Oh, the hook though. No relaxing. No relaxing for the Enchantress. They're gonna get a TP top from Cube though. Clockwork's coming in to save the day, keep the Ench alive. Maybe next time with a cold embrace on. Not doing an awful lot of damage with a rot. He just gets turned around with a battery assault. Good rotation from the Clockwork, and that's the ideal situation here, really, for Ivy, because Timber is already level 4. He's pretty happy to stay down here alone. Hasn't died the first 6 minutes, so that, you know, maybe potential counter of the SF in lane hasn't really come to fruition yet.
I'm thinking, definitely looking forward to this level 6 timing on Timber 2. I wonder if he's able to like stick it on the...
Oh, Mobe.
Oh my god, they're just more fighting. Let's go.
I mean, Lodine just jumps straight in on them. The hook misses. And the DP just turns with the Exorcism. Good cogs from Cube as well. They'll land the Light Strike array in, and MTD does have a Laguna Blade, but nobody's low enough for him to try and blast down.
And they're killing top as well.
And they're going in. And they found this Own Me Winter Wyvern. Another kill across the board. Ivy just demolishing them.
Yeah. You have to compare these offlaners. Timbersaw can be left alone. He's self-sustaining. If necessary, with the supports gone, he can just cut the wave. That's not an option for Wyvern. Wyvern has to get through this Ench, who will, you know, slow him if he tries to take the waves and just deal a super amount of damage. Low skill on his Alk, always able to connect with that unstable concoction. They can run Wyvern down pretty much anytime they want. It's so hard to lane alone as a Wyvern. You're much too weak of a laner. So the ability for supports to move around on Ivy is just much greater, and you see that going mid. Yeah,
and then when this Timber hits level 6, the SF starts to become a little more afraid. Timbersaw hero can output some serious damage, but now maybe we see the strength of this SF Marcy lane. Couple of raises in towards Max. Pleb trying to line up the long range as it came off cooldown, but he won't find it. It really felt like that bot lane should have had kills on the Timbersaw in the first 4 or 5 minutes, but not getting that has allowed Max a free time.
Indeed.
And
just
Alchemist
need that one little rotation to help SF out, because the 1v1 is whatever. Max has just been Timber chaining around.
And look at them swarming into mid now.
Oh,
Cube's readying himself. Hellbear's coming. MTD going for bottom rune. Arcane is there. Who's going to get it? Light Strike not in time. He throws Laguna Blade in there as well for good measure, but now trapped inside the cogs. In comes Ivy, chasing down the Lena, and Cube. Right place, right time again. He's been all over the map, setting up pretty much every kill they've gone for.
He's honestly having so much impact on this game. It's great. You see Lena is playing to the south side just because that's where the ward is, that's where Marcy is, she wants to play on that, but Cupid's just so ready. You can just walk through, it doesn't matter. They're just... I don't know, it feels like sharper, and Lodine is sadly missing his spells a lot.
Yeah.
He misses rebound again on that mid lane.
Yeah, that's what we saw in the laning stage. It just doesn't feel like Lodine's got that eye for it. Gonna dispose back the DP. They're diving onto this tower. Now he will rebound away safely and successfully. But already 9 minutes in, some good damage with the last remnants of this Exo. Bring it down pretty low.
Yeah, you have an Ench, you have a DP. This tower should definitely be falling at some point. Even if you don't commit a bunch of heroes to push the tower together, just the ability to enchant a creep and run it at mid, within its death, it'll do a lot of damage, and you can just chip it down like that.
And all this noise in the mid lane has given Alchemist a lot of freedom. He's already top of the net worth. Happy time for him. 2,500 gold saved up towards that relic. And it doesn't feel like there's anything that's stopping him anytime soon. They're all just trying to respond to all of these issues. Like bottom jungle, Lodine is battling with the two supports. Ivy planting themselves on the enemy side of the map. MNT Pudge. He sees the Alk. With the Chemical Rage, there's nothing he can really do to stop him from running back into the jungle and continuing that farm rate. SF is one of those heroes that's pretty good at keeping up in terms of farm with these very greedy heroes. He is a flash farmer through razors, and he's already got his Dragonlance treads. It feels like he could be ready to fight already.
SF is one of those heroes where he can output a shit ton of damage, but dies very quickly. It's just very similar to Lena. They have basically picked the same core twice, and it's kind of like with Ivy, your Clockwork is level 5 right now, he's going to hit 6. At that point, they can just look towards killing Clev. You know, when you're playing with a Jug or something, oh, they're just diving mid, okay.
Yeah,
they're just going aggro. They're just going aggro everywhere.
They won't finish him off. They're keeping MNT at bay. Yeah, tower dying. Centaur creep gonna tank it up. And this Exo, thanks to the arcane rune that the DP had, is just another one, you know, third Exo of the game or whatever. 11 minutes in, just keeps them flowing.
Yeah, but you're chill. You just have a lot of options. Like I was trying to say, if you have a Jug or a Lifestealer, you feel pretty bad.
Oh, the Requiem disposed. That's a nice little play. Get in a couple of raises for good measure.
All right, nice. Yeah. But you could feel limited, like, okay, they have magic immunity, it's hard for us to get our spells, we don't have enough chain stun, blah, blah, blah. But someone like an SF, someone like a Lena, they're always killable. So even if they are getting this kill, even if they're feeling good, Ivy can definitely just get that hook shot and be like, okay, we're going to look for our kill now. We have a play to make. We have the damage to do it.
And it feels like very much DGG looking towards 20 minutes for those BKB timings. It looks like SF's going to get his a little bit early to straight Dragonlance BKB. Lena does want the boots of travel first, as Lodine and MTD just pile it onto Cube, but he's got raindrops, fluffy hat, and a hookshot to escape. He's perfectly fine. Tell you what, he baits 3 heroes down into bottom jungle, makes them waste their spells. That's Unleash and Laguna Blade, and he just says goodbye.
You're okay with that, I think, just because the hookshot is the kill threat, and now that that's gone, you can just keep farming. Because that's what DGG want to do. Their whole game plan is we want to farm.
Oh, you can't let DP get another arcane rune. I guess you don't have a choice.
Yes, you can.
The Warpine Raider blocking out MTD. No stuns, so TP home is good. Looks like Lodine should be able to get away here with a rebound over the Pudge if need be. Not going to use it, didn't need it in the end.
I keep reading these support movements by the Pudge and Marcy, like they want to make something happen mid, and they just can't. So they just keep settling for like, okay, I'm gonna go bully Max for a little bit, and then they go back to mid, like, oh, I'm sure we can do something this time, but it just isn't happening. The DP is way too strong. Ench is playing mostly around mid. She's not really going to bot. In fact, I think the supports in general are not really playing around bot. There's just so much action mid that every time this Marcy and Pudge go there, it just like never really works out. They're bringing SF this time. Strength in numbers, you know?
Bring all the tools you can. And I'll see the DP. Catch her out with the stuns. Requiem for good measure. And down she goes. That's a lot of nuke damage from DGG to blow her up. A
little bit of confidence there on the DP to walk like that alone with no supports.
And no vision, yeah.
And no vision, but it's okay.
It's space for the Alchemist, you know. He got his Radiance a minute and a half ago, and he's already well on his way to Blink Dagger. This guy is accelerating quickly.
No, he really is. He's gonna hit this timing with. He's going BKB. That's crazy. They wanna fight soon. I guess they're feeling really good on DP.
Oh, he's still got stacks to take. That's a Radiance Blink 14 minutes in. Very quickly off the mark, Mr. Low Skill. Looks like Cube is also stacking out the triangle as well. And one of the limitations here, it feels like, for DGG is they don't have that Enigma Beastmaster kind of hero top, right? This Wyvern, not the best at pushing towers. Even though you clear the wave, you do need the rest of your squad to come up here and help. And they're going to amass, what, every single hero up here? Lina decides to fall back to the triangle just for a few seconds, but everybody else ready to shove on this tier 1. While Alchemist just farms out the stacks, gets himself even bigger. A 5k lead built up 15 minutes in is a pretty good sign here for Ivy.
Not having BKB is scary for Alk. I wouldn't be surprised if he has this blink, but he only gets involved as like an absolute last resort. Ivy are strong, but they don't have magic immunity. They have 2 hoods, and it could be enough if we look at how that DP died in the mid lane. It required a Laguna Blade, it required an SFO, it required a Dismember, and everything from Marcy too. So if we look at that on just one hero, then to deal with a Timbersaw and an Alk on top of that, it might be quite difficult. The fights probably would require them to do a lot of kiting and use of their spells where they can like disengage for a moment with the Wyvern ult and then re-engage with their spells again.
I guess they've got quite a decent amount of team fight. We talked about the Clockwork and how we liked that pick early on. But it feels like Coop is, that primary, but also only form of initiation and team fight. But if he gets off a hook shot and cogs like that, that's all you need. Coop with a perfect jump in allows the DP and the Timbersaw to shred through the Shadow Fiend. Pleb gonna get the Requiem off in time, but the Witness Curse overlaps. Does no damage, dies to the Spirit Siphon in the end. Lodine barely escaping the grasp of the Ghost. Ivy responding. I mean, two supports dying there for the Shadow Fiend and defending your tier 1 tower. Gotta feel incredibly good, especially if Alk can chase in for a bonus kill. Diving onto tier 1 and looking for the Wyvern as well. They're going to get more out of this than they ever expected. Low Skill has found Owned Me. They silence up the Wyvern, and away they go into the tree line. Oh, another concoction, but the fog of war in the trees. Low Skill's not going to find it, but they'll have the Chakram over the top to make sure that the Wyvern dies.
Yeah, bit of a dive. This is the nice thing. Alk can just keep farming, and then when a dive like that happens, you can just TP in and react. And clean up shop. Like this hook shot was the key point of that fight for them, and just the ability to catch 2 heroes there in one, especially this SF who then can't pop the ult. They need BKBs desperately. I think they have one coming for SF right now. Yeah, that's a shame. To take that fight like that when you have a BKB about to be finished is not great, but now they're a lot stronger for the next fight.
Like if that
Lina too.
If that was old Dragonlance, he would have had it, right? He would have disassembled, he would have the BKB top.
Yeah.
Not with a new one. But yeah, I don't know, I was about to start complaining about Ivy not having a massive amount of team fight, and Cube just pops off. Got himself a 4 staff now as well, pretty farmed on this Clockwork, being so involved early on. But it's such a challenge now. 15k on the Alk. He's got BKB, he's working on AC. And I don't know, do you have a way to deal with him? Are SF and Lina going to output enough damage to kill him?
In late game, they can, yeah. But right now, no.
Cubes in, hooks out. Maybe next time. Nice little grab on the Marcy.
This is the risk. So the way that DGG have been playing is very passive. We haven't seen them smoking up, making rotations. We saw that one smoke to mid where they killed DP, but other than that, they've been very passive. They're moving their supports around, trying desperately to kind of make plays happen, but it's not coming easy to them the way that it was for Ivy with their Clockwork. So they're just chilling. They're thinking, okay, we take this to late, we win with our Lina and our SF. And it's something that they tried to do against Liquid as well and failed, but you're reaching kind of critical mass on this Alk. Like, he's smoked up with his team, he's ready to fight, he's got his BKB.
Yeah, this is late game. It's a late game Alk. It's 18 minutes in. let's go kill some heroes, find the Purge, take him down, and then move into Roshan. What's stopping them at this point? I'm also looking at this DP, and she's just not going to go BKB. Hood into Kaya Sanj, tanking up, getting more damage.
This is the results of the way DGG's been playing. This Alk has had complete free farm. He's about to have an AC in the next few minutes, given that it's Alk. They're going for the fight here. They have BKBs.
Oh yeah, I mean, SF just goes in with his BKB Requiem, tries to fear them away, but look at the Alk! 3-man concoction! Low skills in on top of them. Doesn't have the chemical rage though, so a little bit difficult outputting his damage, and the hook shot whiffs. DGG get themselves away from what could have been a disastrous team fight, because they'd already lost out on the Aegis steal.
Yeah. A nice idea to try and contest just comes a little bit too late. They definitely have potential to win a fight just because the DP's being greedy and not buying a BKB. Same for Timber, he's not really a BKB buying hero. You always have a way to fight as long as you have spells and they aren't buying BKB. But again, Alk is your main problem. It's really just a game of like, can we buy 4 stars? Can we kite this out? Can we, keep him from killing our hero? Because he's gonna finish his AC, then he's probably gonna go Basher. Oh, Pudge in trouble?
Yeah, might just get solo killed here. Acid sprays down, there's no one to help him out. Maybe next time tanking it up for Pleb to farm out that one additional wave.
I mean, yeah, like, he doesn't even have attack speed right now on Alk. Just think 2 items down the line how hard it is going to be for DGG to deal with it. A lot. Obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult because they're going to have to fight into the high ground to take racks eventually, and playing into ranged heroes like a Wyvern core SF Lina is difficult in that regard. Onmi has his Ags. He's only going to get stronger. You probably want to take a fight as Ivy outside of the base and then push in, if you can.
Just try and outrange all the heroes.
Yeah.
Low skill, getting pushed away from that bot tower. He's got Cube and Mobe near him. Looks like DGG trying to figure out how they can reclaim their bottom jungle. They're getting pushed back on every lane though, like Timbersaw freely shoving in mid. And low skill.
Ivy are pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, they're hunting.
Yeah. As Ox stuns himself.
there was someone in the trees, but they TP'd away.
Yeah. I just think that they're in a really good spot right now to win this game, or at least try and outfarm DGG, and as long as they don't overcommit, I think the worst thing that they could do is just make some absolutely insane play where they're diving some high ground or tier 2 tower and have heroes split. This is great.
Yeah, being forced to BKB that.
Yeah. This is exactly what you want to do. You want to kind of split your, you want to apply pressure. We've seen it with all these teams. We saw Liquid do it to DGG yesterday, right? Where you're just threatening them around the map. You're not allowed to play here. We're going to run at you. We're going to force your BKB. Now you don't have a BKB. It gives us a place to get an objective or pressure you even harder. You just keep doing this over and over again until the net worth lead really widens, and then you just play for like next Aegis and then try and end the game.
I guess usually we see this kind of binary system where a team is either...
Wait, are they going for a hook into a Requiem?
Oh, they are. Well, try.
All right, so continue.
So we usually see this this kind of binary system where teams are either playing wide map or closed map, right? They're playing as 5 together, going around smoking, ganking, team fighting, and forcing fights as 5, or they're doing the kind of split push, spread wide, get as much farm as you can across multiple heroes. And it kind of feels like Ivy are between those two styles where they are spreading wide and farming. Top lane being pushed out by Timber, mid being held by the DP. But then they've also got this group up together from the Clock, Ench, and Alchemist, holding hands to really protect areas on the map that they can control and keep DGG away from.
Yeah.
Right now, Lodine, he's having struggles dewarding, and he might have to pay for it. He gets jumped and Alex stuns himself with a concoction again. He's always going to have that second life. 1 minute left on Aegis. So not too bothered about just jumping straight in there.
They're like kind of going off what you said. They are playing closed map, but they're also playing kind of wide map but together. Yeah. Just we're going to try and cover the entire map, but we're going to run there as a team. We're not going to give you any pick off.
Yeah.
And when they run top, for example, and force someone to TP back home, they suddenly become very locked in their base because they can't then swing to the bot side of the map and push that out because they won't have a TP.
Oh, hook in there off the Light Striker, right? gonna take down the Aegis. BKB's in the backpack still for the Alchemist as Pleb. He winds up the Requiem, but it's cancelled by Cube's hook shot back. A dive from Obey behind tier 3, zones away the rest of DGG. Well, Max is still in there, but the hook back in. Maybe next time. Grabs the DP, but it's not enough to kill her. Requiem now from Pleb will be able to push and fear back the Timbersaw. As the Winter's Curse on the Alchemist holds him in place for a few seconds. They can't drag him back, though. The BKB gave him the safety against any kind of disposed play.
I can't believe that DB lived. Honestly, that was... Whew, skin of his teeth. This was definitely the type of play I wasn't looking for from Ivy. I wanted them to kind of relax with the Aegis expiry and just play this triangle, cut the waves. Like we talked about, them running to bot, like put a ward in the bot jungle or something, and then if someone shows on that, you run at them and so forth. Use your smokes that way and just keep the map as close as you can until the next Roche. Going high ground like that is just so scary. We just saw how quickly the Alt can die to a single like, stun into hook.
You can know pretty quickly. It felt like Ivy were testing them, honestly, though. Like, oh, we'll go high ground. We'll see what they do. See how they respond. And DGG not afraid to chuck everything at them.
Yeah. That was pretty best case scenario, though, for Ivy, given what the worst that could have happened.
Yes.
They nearly died on like DP and Alk.
Could have been pretty disastrous.
Yeah.
And nice for DGG, though. They get to reclaim their triangle, get some D-wards. Lodine finally removing all of this vision that Ivy been placing around. And if what feels like their first real smoke movement of the game, 25 minutes in. They've got 4 charges on Spirit Vessel, so a nice little start there for them. MTD going straight into Monkey King Bar.
Throughout this whole game, Gary, we talked about SF and how his razors are so good in the lane and just how this... Oh, never mind, they're going for a fight. This we'll save for later.
Yeah, that's fine. Low skill. Concoction blocked by the BKB. Rebound in. Dispose, no. The Lincoln Sphere. Low skill. Able to block out that reinitiation as the Winter's Curse. Just going to try and delay the push forward from Ivy, but in comes Cube again, finding the line. Angles onto MTD. Forces another BKB. Jetpacks away. Just a bit of poke and prod here, but Ivy've got another round of battling to go forward in towards the Wyvern and the SF. Lodine's jump back into that EP as Pleb holding the high ground and trying to raise back into Mobe, looking like he's going to get the kill with a final touch. Cube with the cogs trying to block them back, but the Laguna Blade is there. And Ivy maybe struggling now to get the damage they need, but you're right, SF is stuck. Low skill's got the kill, a double for the Alk. Maybe next time, and Own Me still trying to turn this around, though. Arctic Burn with the Aghanim Scepter upgrade. Long range and big damage from this Winter Wyvern. And they've killed off 4. Chasing the Enchantress now. MNT not going to get the hook, though. Lodine. Lodine's in. He's got the Dispose. Still unleashed up. Going to drag the Enchantress back, and a team wipe coming in. DGG. They get them all.
What a great fight from them. I was really scared at first. They felt like their BKBs were kind of getting forced and like in unfavorable situations. Lina had to BKB just, you know, on like 10% health. But like it was hard for Ivy to commit. Like DP, she got just pushed away. She doesn't have an armor item to deal with the SF damage, so she's just getting clicked down by that. She doesn't have a BKB, so it's really hard to kind of just run into Lina, who could just turn and kill you.
Yeah, then like I honestly thought that after this Winter's Curse, it would just be Ivy go again. You know, the hookshot looked good, everything lines up. But once the Alex BKB is down, we start to see this Arctic Burn and Spirit Vessel. You know, the Pudge with all these charges. He hooks away the Alk, puts Spirit Vessel on him. Winter Wyvern is going to come back again and deal with the Alchemist. And how did Pleb get stuck there? What happened to him?
He got knocked by the cogs, I think.
Yeah, you're right. There it is. Oh, he tried to TP as well. Yeah. Concocted by the Alchemist. But this offlane Wyvern starting to scale up pretty hard.
Yes, they need dispels on Ivy. The Alchemist, I think he can get the Shard, which dispels, and then Timber can buy a Lotus Orb. He has one now, and that should help a lot.
You just need
ways. Yeah, you just need ways to get off this vessel. Obviously, you can't really deal with the Arctic Burn just because he has Ags. He can always reapply.
That's true, yeah.
But the vessel, at least, is a big issue.
Well, 30 seconds for Roche now. I mean, what was that? It was like a 4K swing or so. It was a big jump in net worth, and like win probability jumps pretty hard as well. Nice little comeback from DGG there. Let's see if they can continue get into the rhythm.
I do strongly believe in their late game. Although Ivy are definitely still in it. You can't tell anyone otherwise. The most important thing going forward though is just if you can have good vision and play under a cliff ward or something like that, it would greatly aid them because they need to be killing this wyvern first just to stop this curse. You don't want your Alk's BKB to get stole out by curse. They have a lot of ways to break this Lincoln, so it's not a reliable defense mechanism. So just killing this wyvern would be absolutely like top tier priority. Best case scenario for Ivy.
Yeah, I mean, like, Alk is peaking right now. He bought that Lincoln Sphere, going Swift Blink next. He doesn't have that Basher or Abyssal Blade to kind of contend with the BKBs of Lina and the SF. I'm kind of wondering where he goes next. Like, he's going to grab the Aegis here and does already have his shard. But is this the point at which Alk starts buying Aghanim Scepters for his team? Oh, a hook missing there, and MNT can get the hook back into him. He's nearly getting blown up by the Timber Saw, while low skill, the Alchemist jumps straight on the Marcy, takes her down. Trying to catch up to the SF, the Lina, the Wyvern, but they've all spread their separate ways. Doesn't look like they're going to catch any bonus kills. Yeah, this is really where it feels like Ivy should be at their strongest with this Alchemist, isn't it?
Definitely. I would have liked to have seen a Basher. I just think it's a bit hard to deal with the BKBs otherwise, but I'm not opposed to like... Okay, MTD is just in, man.
Well, they found him, yeah. Tracking back all the way towards their Ancients. But a BKB TP will give her the security, knowing the hookshot is down.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I do like how they approach the last fight, at least. If you're able to kill the supports, if they're out of position, it could force DGG's cause back. You know, oh, we don't want to fight. We don't have a Marcy. We don't have a Pudge. These are our saves. You know, you have a Pudge with the shard. Just these little things. It's hard to just stand there and fight when you're not fully at your own peak. Talk about Alchemist peaking. Well, SF is nearly about to finish a Scotty. MTD, he has an MKB. He's starting to hit pretty hard, but he can still use some more items. He's going for that AC. When we see this AC, these Daedalus, I think when we have like the Scotty Daedalus type builds coming out, that is when I would say Lina and SF are peaking. But we're quite a ways off.
They've definitely got room to grow.
For sure.
And there is that Skadi done for Pleb. So another issue for Alchemist. And now Ivy's starting to play that tighter, closed map style with 4 heroes down bottom. Timber Sword doesn't... Okay, yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't have travels, but it does have the outpost to TP2, so they will group as 5. But you just see how much damage Alk is taking from a few clicks out of Pleb. That's going to give you some worries.
It's really hard to push high ground. As long as they are just standing on their high ground, I feel like it's kind of impossible to just ram your head into it. You don't have any slow siege. Unless you're just going to like run animals at the high ground, but I mean, that's not really going to work. They can kill it so easily. You need to, I don't know, you need to force something outside the base. Whether that's just getting a smoke and a side lane pick off, whether it's, I don't know, hoping that they'll just run into them on that.
It took me a second to realize what you meant by run animals at the high ground. Like, oh yeah, they have an enchantress.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, run creeps, I should say.
Just talking about the squad themselves. Just go. Animalistic behavior. Charge towards your opponents.
Send Clockwork up there.
Yeah. Get in there. Little Tin Man on the battle plan. Charge up high ground. And DGG still kind of hemmed back in their base, but Lodian's going to get the D wards, remove vision, and now they can play under their own observer ward. Oh, but if they're not together, this is where they are weak. Lina is exposed. So is the SF a little bit, and that allows Cube to get in with a hook shot. Pleb, he's got Pike and BKB, just turns to fight the clock. MTD zones away the Eng, and Alk with DP straight on the Pudge. Winter's Curse trying to hold her back, and Cube the first one to die as Lina and SF turn around onto low skill. The physical damage takes him down. The Ghost, not something they're too bothered by. The Requiem will get the fear onto the Alk at least, lacking the damage from it, but they've got plenty to back it up. And Ivy falling short.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They were not ready for that, it felt like, on Ivy. They smoked, they clearly had a plan, but they find SF and initiate on him with no follow-up. There was no stun. They get the hook shot, they get the pushback with the pogs, and then nothing. He's able to literally just stand there and not care. He doesn't even pop his BKB. He's so unthreatened. I think I'm definitely feeling the effects of DP's Iron build. Not having an early BKB posed some problems for her. Not having armor is posing even more problems for her into Lina SF. Like, you see how easily she just dies in these fights. Literally just gets clicked and dies. And you're seeing as well, they have a lack of lockdown. They didn't have that follow-up. I think she needs a lot. She needs some Shivas, some armor. She needs a Hex.
Just look at her getting clicked down by the Lina there.
Yeah.
When low skill loses a second life pretty quickly as well. And this is all under Radiant Vision as well. They're next to their base. They have that high ground ward. So a little bit of a very risky move, honestly, from Ivy going back in to the de-warded area. Even though the Lina was kind of separated from her team, the fact that she is very speedy. Faro Soul stacking up. Got herself back into position. And now, even though there's a 13k lead for Ivy, the past 6-7 minutes has felt like DGG have a grasp on this game that they're not going to relinquish anytime soon.
Yeah, they're hitting their item timings. They played so passively up until like recently. We haven't seen them being the ones that make the smoke moves. They're not being the aggressors. Ivy's kind of the one that is sweating and realizing that they have to try and end this game. And they're not doing it in the cleanest way. They're getting wiped. They're losing their Aegis. These are their advantages that they're meant to be taking advantage of, and DGG are coming out on top. It's very hard. Like, I fully appreciate that. It is really hard to be in Ivy's position right now. Because ideally you would have ended like 10 minutes ago or something on the last Aegis.
Or at the very least you would have had a later racks.
Yeah.
You've not even broken the base yet. I mean, tier 3s are all very healthy still. And you've got at least a 2-minute wait until next Roshan. And even fighting around Rosh, you're going to be a little worried here about the curse, the Requiem, the ability for DG to fight around it in these choke points.
That is Ivy's potential saving grace, is if DGG come out of their base and give up a good position to go fight for Rosh. That's when Ivy could win a fight. I just want to see more lockdown. I want to see a Hex. I want to see an Abyssal Blade.
They're coming. As quickly as they can. I mean, Max had it queued up. He shouldn't be too far away from it now. It looks like he just needs the Mystic Staff. Has the money for the orb. Might be keeping buyback though, thinking about how these team fights are going.
Nice. That would be really good for them going later if Max has a Hex and if DP can get one as well.
And Alk. Oh, Alk had the Abyssal Blade queued up, but he's changed to Nullifier now. What's he nullifying?
He had a Rapier queued up for a little bit. Then I saw him switch to Abyssal Blade, and now he just has the Sacred Relic queued up.
I think he's bought the Helm. He's committing to Nullifier.
Okay. That's interesting. What is he nullifying?
Sidekick?
Oh, the Eon Disc. He wants to be the one that kills the Winter Wyvern.
Ah, you're clever. That's the one.
It's not a bad idea, but again, you don't have lockdown other than your concoction, which is going to get dispelled when Wyvern's Eon Disc procs. So you kind of need that Basher, but he's not even going for that. He's just going to go for Ags now.
Yeah, he's slotted. He's got no room left. I'm trying to go for the sneaky surprise move. They've got high ground vision here on loading, but the quick BKB. Marcy has her item.
And now she's going the Basher. We're scaling.
Oh yeah. And just the little brown boots though. Didn't finish off the phase or anything. And a full 2 minutes for Roche to respawn. I mean, yeah, where does Ivy go now? Like, they feel like they're forced to play as 5. Do they just continue like farming jungle together?
Ideally, when a team is playing like this on DGG and they're all in this bot lane pushing up to base, usually you're pressuring something else. Either you're threatening Roche, which isn't gonna respawn right now, or you're pushing their base and forcing them to TV back. Right now, they're not getting anything. It would be nice if they could at least make a pretty big effort to control this triangle. They're very split right now, which is quite scary. There's no vision from Radiant side to know this though, so I think that it is a bit of an effort to kind of push into them. I mean, at least you're doing it into fog, so you need to play with like a ward on a high ground. I guess Pleb's just going to be very brave and walk in.
They've got this jam on SF now, so Pleb trying to scout out his own triangle, see what's up. A DD rune down bottom. The last one we saw got picked up by the clock just to try and steal it away from Radiant. But SF, he's walked straight in and got it. BKB's ready, turns to hit into low skill. Plebs at half HP, but they lose the clockwork quickly. Now Ivy, the one's on the run away. Lodine was looking for that reinitiation with the rebound. But Ivy realizing very quickly they just cannot stand their ground and fight it. They do have high ground vision here, though. Alchemist with a concoction, winding it up to try and make a jump. Not gonna happen.
The nullifier got rid of the DD on Pleb. I was really scared when he started hitting. I was like, oh boy, this is gonna hurt. And then I realized it had been dispelled. I was like, oh, never mind. He's not hitting too hard yet. He's actually gone for a very defensive build. I expected more damage items coming out. I think Lina is the one that's going to be covering that instead. Even she's going for a Satanic. Like SF, he's had the Satanic cube for a while. He's got a Shadow Blade, BKB, Skadi, Hurricane Pike. It's very, very low damage. So we saw without the DD there, he hit the Alk and it didn't really do that much. But the nice thing though is that when you're combining your Lina, Wyvern, and SF hitting people together, it is a lot. Yeah. And I think that's why you can afford to go an item build like this, which does just let you sustain and live.
Have multiple lives, basically. It gives you the freedom to play aggressively like that. Pleb jumped on. He doesn't have BKB, but he does have the hook and Dismember to save him. Exo going to be expended here by Mobe, but look at the damage from Lina and now the slow from the Skadi. Hookshot back in from Cube, though, trying to zone out the Shadow Fiend and isolate him, but they've got the heal. Cold Embrace going to keep him alive a little bit longer while Lina trying to unload her damage, but she's been silenced, sent back. Ivy hold the high ground in that top jungle, and now they're moving forward with the Alchemist to find maybe next time. Lina from the high ground, though, the artillery cannon launching in. They've got the Winter's Curse onto the Enchantress, which blocked the damage onto the Alk, though. Owned me. He's still looking to get back in here and maybe save the Lina, but gonna be left alone to die. MTD there. A buyback came out from the SF as well towards the tail end of that team fight, thinking they're gonna contest this Roshan even further.
Oh, love fight. I love fights around Rosh. I love it. It's like the do or die. Everyone has to commit buybacks. You have to go all in. This Aegis means so much, especially the later it goes. We have a friggin' refresher shot. Like, this could be absolutely game changing. Getting 2 BKBs, getting 2 Wyvern Cousins, I mean, whatever have you, just the ability to just fight and fight and fight.
Low skill?
It's so big.
Low skill? Okay.
Fine.
He's all right. Looks a little bit scary there, but now when he's concocted himself, Pleb just has the Requiem on him. Rebound back in, hook across. Lotus Orb still on him, so MNT can't dismember just yet. Damage not coming fast enough. Low skill is still alive somehow. Another Lotus put on him. I don't know how he's managed to weasel himself out of that situation. Looked like he was dead.
I didn't see what happened to Lina, but she died and brought back. Yeah, I was watching the Alk the whole time, and he was so low, but SF just didn't have the damage output to kill him?
Yeah, apparently not. Yeah, Alk killed off that Lina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
A pretty expensive one for DGG.
I think used all their buybacks now, right? If I look at buyback status, we have not many.
No Pudge, no Lina, no SF, no Marcy. So Wyvern is the only one with you're right, with the buyback. Alk and DP on the other side to have buyback, and another DD rune spawning. This time around Roshan.
Oh, loading BKB by accident.
Oh no.
Alright, give it up. It's time to hold high ground. Right now you have no buybacks. You can't risk this. Ivy have so many more lives right now. If they can just go bot and take this outpost, I think it would be really big for them. If they can kind of create a line that pushes DGG into their base, and you're kind of playing here around, if you can take a fight around bot with the outpost control, that would be the most ideal, I think, just because you would be able to buy back and TP back in on your heroes. Like having who has buyback? 3 heroes have buyback right now, so it's essentially an 8v5. Yeah. You know, in a fight situation like that. So that would be great for them if they could do that. It's obviously just really ideal and not likely to happen. And DGG understand they have no buyback, so they're going to be playing mega safe, not taking risks. They're not going to be splitting up super hard. They will want to hold this high ground. This is the type of situation where you do get those absolutely massive deficits in net worth because they're not moving out onto the map. So you can just play it that way on Ivy and look for example, like a extra ways to have win conditions. So getting agonyms on everyone from Alchemist. You know, if you have like the clock has the overclock now, right? If you are able to hookshot in, for example, on SF, refresh, do it again, that is a lot of lockdown and could be more than enough time for them to blow him up. Or I mean, obviously, ideally, you want to get this Wyvern. Yeah, they're just gonna get more and more gold, and more people will become cores. Like looking at this Ench, he's going for an Ags. He wants to be a carry too. You have so many heroes that can kind of push at this tower.
Oh yeah, they changed overclocking, didn't they?
Does it not refresh now?
No longer refreshes all of Clockwork's abilities on cast.
Well,
now it's supercharged
for me.
No, I saw Scriff hover over it and I was like, wait, hang on. I was like, yep, Sheepo, correct. Nodding my head. Yep. And then I was reading it and the first sentence just like, nah.
Thanks,
so now it's, I'm sorry. So now it supercharges all the abilities.
Thank you, like genuinely thank you. Sorry, my British sarcasm came out at the wrong time. I rolled learning today. What does it do to the hookshot then? Oh, the stun
it's a long tooltip. You can read.
I look.
Supercharges his abilities.
Why would they change that? You know what? Fine. I'll just change what I said. Everything I said still applies, but the idea now is they get a bigger net worth lead, and Clockwork buys a refresher.
There we go. That's the way around it. See, that's a true Dota 2 analyst move right there. It's like when you're doing a maths exam, all your working is wrong, but you got the right answer. It's like you'd made two mistakes that cancelled each other out, and you got the correct answer. Good job.
Well, the patch was big. I thought I remembered most of the changes, but that one caught me by.
Man, I was playing with Fog last night, and he was testing me. I was playing Enchantress. He's like, "Do you know what your shard does?" I was like, "Yeah, it's like a mini wyvern. It's a little wyvern curse." He's like, "Oh yeah, good job, Gary." It's like if you ask me about anything else, I'd probably get it wrong.
I only remember the end shard because of the name. I love the name Little Friends. It's so cute.
Yeah, happy little tree friends.
Yeah, it's so useless. I don't think I've seen that shard ever do anything.
I used it last night, and I mean, yes, it's probably useless, but it was pretty funny watching a bunch of creeps, because the range is huge. It actually like gathers creeps from like 1,000 range away that chases this hero down. They they're tracked. So we had super creeps, like 3 or 4 waves chasing it down an enemy CK into his fountain.
But it's only 6 seconds long, and it's
like
by the time they get to the hero, it feels like they don't do very much damage from what I've seen.
It didn't really do anything apart from make me giggle watching like 30 creeps following an enemy hero past his towers.
They just like start sprinting very fast.
Yeah, they're pretty quick. But here's the seed from Ivy, right? This is where they've bunkered down as DGG held back in their base. And DP just going to be the one to frontline, get onto that tier 3 with the EXO.
Yeah. Need to be careful with how they approach it. I think if they had buybacks, then they have no problem kind of standing there and attacking them and sort of forcing the issue a bit. Because they know they're stronger if they can start this fight from high ground when they have, uphill. But if you stand up like that and you get hooked, for example, you're dead with no buyback, and that could just be the game.
Yeah, hook into Requiem, something DGG continually trying to utilize. So Ivy get the tier 3 and then they get out.
Yeah.
And Aegis is about to expire on max.
That's okay.
No reason to stick around.
Yeah.
And BKB up for the Enchantress, scaling up into a core. Pike, Glimmer, BKB.
Low skill is just buying ag after ag. He's got one for Timber done.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Curse on the creeps.
What was that for?
Scare
he
them.
didn't break his Lincolns, so I don't think he misclicked either.
Scared them.
He just was to, make them afraid.
Defended the melee racks with it.
Okay.
What's the cooldown? 80 seconds? It's long, but it's not one of those 2-minute long cooldowns that you're afraid of throwing out there once in a while.
Is this one of these games where they're just gonna chill till next Roche?
It looks like it. I mean, given how it was, 25 minutes in when they tried the first high ground push and how poorly that went, they're probably going to be holding back a little bit now. But this is where the siege breaks. You were talking about kind of keeping the Radiant back in the base, the net worth deficit building 39,000 now. The Radiant populace is starving. They've got no access to medical. They're all dying inside this castle. Their king, the Shadow Fiend, is the one out getting himself, feasted on these creeps.
But here's the nice thing. We got buybacks again.
We do.
Lena's is coming up now, so I think they're pretty good.
Vincenzo. He's BKB'd up and sproinked back. Aghanim Scepter on the edge, giving a bit of a gap, but in comes Cube, hooking onto his DP. Not landing on the SF or anyone as the Impetus launched out long range, but Pleb the one to be focused and forced back towards his base. Another missed hook. MNT was attempting to catch the Stragglers on their retreat. And just a buyback from Marcy, defends the base and holds it. Wait, what's SF Courier doing? Is he trying to drag the wave, or he's just trying to go to the secret shop? But he dragged a dire wave into creep camps.
And it's dead.
And it's gone.
He wanted his satanic. He's definitely been struggling for farm in recent times. I mean, they've been stuck in their base, but I remember seeing him looking for the satanic about 10 to 15 minutes ago. And he's got 7k gold, but he wants to keep that buyback. It's just more important.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Lena finished hers, right?
Yeah, at least Lena's about to pop off. That Daedalus is going to be massive. Alk has just been going for Ags for the last 10 minutes. He has nothing else that he feels like he wants to buy. I personally really wish he would buy the Abyssal Blade. I don't know what he would replace, but it's like rough to watch. You know, he just starts hitting someone and they don't lock him down.
Well, if you can just keep pushing all the lanes.
Yeah.
Another reasonably long Roche respawn though. 2 minutes again. Plenty of time for the Radiant to gather up whatever creep waves meet their base. They're actually going to smoke up together. MTD
They
the
have
one
Daedalus
that's not...
finish. This is big.
Yeah, you're right. And who are they going to come in contact with? Max, feared by the Shard of SF. Can't quite get the catch on him. The hook misses. Max turn to get that Scythe of Ice in, and now low skill arrives. Whack, whack, whack into the back of maybe next time. Nearly kills him off straight off the bat. They did disarm Pleb for a second there, but the turnaround, the damage to Daedalus you called for. MTD shredding through the cores of Ivy, and now with the Requiem, they're going to fear up Mobe. The DP's down, and Pleb grabs a double kill.
That was a bit sussy. The Alk stunned the Pudgeons. Oh no, because he wanted to make sure he couldn't shard. Okay, never mind. I was thinking, shouldn't he have stunned the SF? You just kind of let him live. But yeah, no. When there's a Pudge next to you, you kind of have to make the decision. It's definitely a big problem here between these teams with their lack of lockdown, right? There's another reason why I kind of wish there was an Abyssal Blade, because then you can just stun the SF. Abyssal Blade, the Pudge as he walks out. I guess the range is pretty high. I guess it's kind of hard. You kind of needed to be ready with all your heroes there. That's what the smoke was so good for. It just caught them off guard. Nice play, actually. Sorry, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yes, that was good. Very good, DGG.
Yeah, I love the cogs turning as you progress through the
and now the cogs are dying, top lane.
Yeah. Good segue.
Hey!
Keep down. Gem gone. Lodine's going to grab it. And this is when Roshan's respawning. He's about to pop back up. So Ivy might have to expend some buybacks here. MTD's going to scurry away from mid lane.
They're fine with 20 seconds, I think, on Alk. Have to buy back. You don't want to push the issue and throw. Yeah, you have buybacks, but you don't want to expend them because then you end up in your base again. So I just do Roche.
Now they take it pretty quickly. Now Ivy
is coming.
I mean, they can't position themselves fast enough, can they? Oh my God! Cube! He just grabs the Aegis. What else did he get? Aghanim Scepter taken as well. He's going to die here again. Oh, God, no, he can't escape from this with the jetpack and the Force Staff, the range damage, the Ghost Scepter. He's bought himself enough time. Okay. Went to I'm going to jump forward, though, with a blink and the catch on Clog. Finish him off with a Splinter Blast, but what a God.
Oh, my God, it was so close to it. A perfect getaway. All right. Nice Ags. He drops it on the floor. But let's be real, you have an outline up who's actually taking that axe. If anything, you actually don't even want to use it because you want Alk to give away the Ags, so he gets the Ags granted buff. So if anything, this is kind of just a dead item.
And like Alk can't pick it up and give it to someone, right? It's something you have to pick up and use yourself.
Yeah.
He's got to actually build the Ags with his own bare hands.
Yeah.
Oh man, that could have been game potentially. Like if DGG gets that Aegis, they do still have the cheese. It's over on the Pudge, but having Ags and Aegis there kind of allows them just to plant a hero on high ground, hit tier 3, and force Ivy to fight. They're gonna go and try and do this anyway, but it gives another window here for Ivy to actually have a good scrap with DGG around their high ground. Low skill, protecting his Timber. Shadow Fiend so incredibly tanky, and with that double BKB off the Refresher Shard, and he does still have, it gives him the confidence to stay high ground and hit buildings. I don't know if this glyph is going to stop them. It always feels so bad just glyphing barracks, you know, no tier 3 or tier 4 to get those AoE projectiles out. And a nice little dismember there. Gets the Shadow Fiend away from danger. I mean, Lodi nearly dying to the impetus hits.
Oh, he changed his items. Jam, he was going butterfly on his Enchantress because he got gifted the Ags. He was trying to be a big boy carry, but he's changed his items up now. He's going for the Hex instead, which I respect. I think that's the right play. They just need more lockdown, more stuns, the better. The Ags that they stole. Low skill ate it. They gave it to Alk and he ate it, but I think it was a mistake because it didn't increase the Aghanim's granted count on his bar, and so I think it basically would just kind of because you get a buff for eating a Ags you made, right? I want to say
you don't anymore, right?
Wait, you don't anymore?
Because they changed it so that you didn't need to eat Ags anymore, and you just get the buff from giving it to people.
Okay, But then what's the point of yourself eating an Ags? It doesn't give you stats. If it doesn't give you a buff as well, what's the point?
I'm not sure. Maybe he can give it to himself, but... Yeah, Lina unloading a bit of damage on the clock. Low skill. He's on that Pudge, but the Yule Scepter is actually the neutral item there. Stormcraft buying a bit of space, while the Winter's Curse holding the DP in next to the Alchemist, allowing Pleb to get a big two-man Requiem. Aeon Disc is popped over Mobe, but low skill, he's dead. Does have buyback, but DGG are just stomping all over this fight now. Shadow Fiend and Lina. Huge damage from these long-range right-click cores, and he catches the Timber Saw with the Light Strike Array, grabs a triple kill, and off they go. Waltzing towards high ground.
They are just so strong. Oh my god, this tower.
It's gone. And, like, what do you do? You're going to catch the Lina here? She doesn't have BKB, and there's no Dismember to save her. They used it on the Shadow Fiend already. Lodine getting feared back towards the Dire Base as well, trying to de-ward on his way out. So Ivy with the triple buyback. They do fight back and defend their buildings. Not a single Rax has fallen this game, even though we've had several high ground pushes and it's looked close.
But now you gotta get something back, and what are you gonna get? Probably could force a Lina buyback, and then what do you do? Now you don't have buybacks. It's very much getting into this late game scenarios. You force buybacks, and then what do? You can see it go either way. You can either see teams both play it hella passive, hide up in your base, wait for the buybacks to come back, and it becomes a very long game of back and forth, or you be brave. There was one game I watched where some team was so brave, no buybacks, they smoked up and took the best 5-man fight of their life and won the game. So,
that's what they need.
Yeah, I mean, it requires a lot of things. Like, what do you feel like you need to win a fight? What do you feel like it gives you the perfect way to win that fight when you have no buybacks? Do you need to be playing under a cliff ward? Do you need the enemy to be split up? Is it like a pick off? Or God, it's late game Dota is fascinating. Yeah,
because usually we'd be looking at this and thinking, hey, Alk peaked legit 20 minutes ago. His time has come and gone. We're now nearly at tier 5 item times. That might be what the teams are really looking for, is some sick tier 5 items to come out. But I don't know, you're basically a single core as Ivy. DP and Timbersaw scale a bit, but nowhere near as well as this Wyvern, Lina, Shadow Fiend. And it's really going to come down to who they can scythe, who they can catch, surprise kills off the back of vision. I think that's what it comes down to a lot of the time in these late game scenarios. We talk about the team spirit style, right? Having these high ground wards that they just 5-man sit around waiting for people to come towards them, reading smokes, understanding the flow of the game and what your opponents are going to do.
Yeah, there's a DD top as well. That could be another way in if you're able to get a kill or a good fight off the back of having that DD.
Who's gonna get it? Cube is eyeing it up.
Oh, they're smoking. They all have buyback. This is a really good fight for Radiant.
They see Max. The Timbersaw feared up. They've got Lodine to jump in. Hook shot catches the SF, but the Timbersaw looks like he's pretty dead. Does Timbersaw chain away? But the final hook is there to take him down. Alchemist jumps on the SF and realizes quickly that's not a battle. He's really... Oh, you can take it? Can he? No, they've got the heals and the Lincoln Sphere on him. He turns instead onto Lodine and finds the Marcy, but Low Skill's dying. Blink forward from Onme, slowing him down, and Lena gets the damage she needs. Dismembers on the back on the Enchantress as Pleb gonna shred through Vincento. Mobe still trying to jump in and play aggressively with the Ghost and the Spirit Siphons, but they just turn and kill her. They find the curse on the Enchantress. That's 3 heroes dead. The 4th one about to come. Cube, the only survivor. A disastrous fight for Ivy. Might just lead to the game ending. DGG ready to go high ground and looking for this game 1 victory. Finish her off with a hook. Maybe next time secures it. Buyback is immediate. But DGG realized with no buybacks on Ivy available, they can go for tier 4s.
They finally bought the Abyssal Blade on Alk. And he nearly killed the SF. It was probably the closest they've come in such a long time.
And then there's a cold embrace. And then there's a satanic. And he keeps healing back up. Cute. Last ditch effort to hook shot in. Buy a bit of time. But it's never going to be enough. GG called. And game 1 going the distance. We do get to 60 minutes. Don't think we saw any tier 5 items, sadly. But DGG take the game 1 victory.
It was a pretty good game. If not a little bit slow. I definitely respect both these teams. They're clearly, playing for their lives. This is the lower bracket. You can't afford to be rushing in and potentially throwing it all away. It is kind of sad for Ivy. I think that they were very close to